Hey, this is Russ. Yeah, I'm talking again. Yeah. No, I still need the water. Hold on. Yeah, we're going to be sipping that water throughout this video. Yeah, I still got the cough. Can't get rid of this thing. I think this is going to be with me for quite a while. People have told me that this is a long-lasting cough. So, yeah, still suffering through it. So today's topic, what are we going to talk about today? Well, you know, it's a topic that I've had people ask me many times over the years, for the last several years. Do you really need your gears? Meaning, you know, some of these e-bikes have 7 speeds, 8 speeds, 9 speeds, whatever they happen to have. Do you really need them? Okay, and here's why this comes up every now and then, is because sometimes people say, all I ever do is throttle. Well, hey, if all you ever do is throttle, do you really need the gears? Well, no, because the gears are there for you when you're pedaling, right? So for those who pedal all the time, do you really need the gears? And how many of those gears do you really need? Yeah. So I've had people say to me that they put their gears on 6th gear, 5th gear, whatever they happen to do, and then they pedal from that point and they throttle from that point. All right. So the first thing you got to ask yourself is, do I even use the gears on my bike? And if I do, what gear am I typically in most of the time? Because people ask me that all the time too. Yeah, so let's talk about me. If I have 7 gears on my bike, I'm usually in gear 6 out of the 7. Kind of reserve the 7 for when I really need to have, you know, if I'm going a little bit faster, I want to pedal a little bit harder and not get too much ghost pedaling, I'll move to 7. Otherwise, typically, if I'm just riding down the road, let's say I'm doing, let's say anywhere between 18 to 22 miles an hour, okay? I'm usually on gear 6. So now people ask, do you ever go to the lower gears? For me, not so much, okay? For others, maybe. So I think it boils down to what kind of terrain are you riding on? Okay. Now, you know, for me, I usually ride on the streets or I ride on paved bike paths, right? More so on streets than anything else. I think I ride on streets more than anything else. And actually, I prefer to ride on the streets. I've said this before in the past. I want to have the ability to go places. You know, I feel like I go from point A to point B, whereas on a bike path, usually you go around in a circle or an oval or whatever the bike path is like. And I feel like I'm never getting anywhere. I start at one point and end up at that point again. So I usually go on the streets, and I try my best to find different streets to go on, but not really crowded streets. I don't like riding, you know, when traffic is like 40, 45 miles an hour and there's cars whizzing by me. I don't like those type of streets. I want to find streets that are more residential streets if I can do it, and I usually stick with that, okay? So the question is, do I really need the gears? Now, if my terrain was such that I had hills, I'm going up and down inclines and the like, I think the gears would be kind of important for me if you're pedaling, okay? But what if you're not pedaling? Do you really need the gears? I'd say no. I don't think so. I mean, if you're throttling all the time, just throttle a little harder, throttle a little bit less, right? So, and because you're not going up and down hills, everything's pretty much level. Yeah, what difference does it make? Doesn't make any difference to me at all. Well, let's say we add some inclines. So you're going up the incline, going down the incline. Do you need the gears? Well, if you're pedaling, yeah, you do. If you're not, sometimes you have to pedal to get up that incline. Sometimes your bike doesn't have enough torque in that motor to get you up the incline, even if you're throttling. You know, you're putting too much strain on the motor. You got to help it a little bit, in which case you need the pedal. In that case, I would say having the gears are going to be helpful. Okay. So now, how do I start the bike? Some people start by pedaling. Others start by throttling. How do I start? Well, I typically throttle to get started. So what I'll do is I'll step on the pedal. The pedal will be all the way down to the bottom level. Okay, so I don't pedal from it up on the top level. It's pretty much close to the bottom of the street level. Okay, I just step up. I use that pedal to step up and sit on the saddle. And at the same time, while I'm doing that, I will throttle. So the bike is starting to move forward because of the throttle, and I just stand up on the pedal and sit, right? And then I just keep throttling until I get to a certain point of where I feel like I'm moving fairly well, and then I start pedaling. Yeah. Or sometimes I don't pedal at all. Sometimes I just use the throttle all the way through. But if I'm gonna pedal, I'll start pedaling once I get to a certain point. In which case, do you need those lower gears? And if it's level ground, the answer would be no, I really don't. It'll be sitting on gear 6 out of 7 more often than not, okay? And then if I'm going faster and I'm going, yeah, okay, I want to go even faster than that, I may move it to gear 7 and pedal to help, okay? So really, do you need all the gears? Well, if you're going up a hill and you're not, if you don't want to throttle it, you want to pedal it to go up the hill, yeah, you're going to need all those gears, So you're going to move down to gear 1 and then pedal up, and then as your feet are going quicker, okay, you might want to move this pedal to gear 2, then gear 3, and the like. So where does the gears come into play compared to the pedal assist levels on your bike? And I think this is where people get it all confused too. They go, why is there gears? Why is there a pedal assist level? Well, the thing is that let's say you're on PAS 1, pedal assist level 1, okay? The motor is going to help you. I'm talking cadence sensor now. I'm not talking torque sensor. Let's just talk cadence sensor first. You have a thing called a cadence sensor. So what happens is your bike, it's going to assist your pedaling to a certain speed, okay, gear 1. And then it's not going to assist past that speed. Let's say your gear 1 will do, I don't know, let's say 10 miles per hour. I'm just guessing, okay? Not all bikes are like this. Let's say it does 10 miles an hour. No matter what you do, pedals assist you to 10. If you move it to pedal assist level 2, maybe that thing will go up to 14 miles an hour, let's say. So as you're pedaling the same amount, the effortless type pedaling where you're just kind of moving your legs, but you're not really pumping hard and you're not doing that, okay? Pedal assist level 2, let's say that goes you to 14 miles an hour. And then pedal assist level 3, maybe that helps you to go to 18 miles an hour, whatever it is. I don't know. Every bike is different. So you have this thing that helps move the motor quicker so that your pedaling is easier. So now the question is, do you still need the gears? This is where everyone gets confused about the gears and the pedal assist, okay? The gears are helpful in the pedaling while you're doing pedal assist. If you're going to throttle, then at that point, the pedal assist level typically doesn't help any more than what it's, on some bikes, the throttle will only go as fast as whatever the pedal assist level is set for. So in other words, I'll give you an example. My electric bike company, Model S, my bike, the Beach Cruiser, right? If I'm on pedal assist level 1 and I throttle 100%, I push that thing down all the way down where the throttle is going full maximum, it only goes as fast as whatever pedal assist level 1 will typically take you if you were pedaling, okay? So if you want to go past that level, you go to pedal assist level 2, and you throttle harder all the way down to maximum throttle. It'll only go as fast as what pedal assist level 2 would typically take you if you were pedaling. So some bikes are regulated on their throttle based on whatever the pedal assist level is set for, okay? Other bikes, most of the other bikes that I have, even if I was on pedal assist level 1 and I hit the throttle all the way, it's going to take off to 20 miles an hour or faster, okay, depending on how that bike is set for. Not every bike does that, but many of them do, okay? Now, some people like to set their pedal assist levels at 0. Some bikes have an option for 0. That means the throttle doesn't work, the pedal assist doesn't work. In other words, it's a regular bike, okay? Why would someone do that? Well, for safety. Sometimes they like it when they stop and they don't want to accidentally hit the throttle, or they don't want the motor to kick in by them accidentally moving the pedal. They put it at 0 when they stop, and then they start moving that pedal assist level up higher and higher as they need it. So I think this whole concept of pedal assist levels along with gears confuse a lot of people. Hold on. Still need this. So let me ask you, how do you do it? Do you pedal? Do you throttle? Do you pedal and throttle? Do you pedal and then throttle? I mean, how do you typically ride? Okay. Now, a lot of people have asked me, how come you never pedal? Yeah, I never do on camera. I've said this many times before in the past. I don't usually pedal on camera because when I start pedaling, because I'm a heavy guy, I start breathing real hard, okay? It's not as much fun watching a video when I'm talking like this and I'm suffering going up the you don't want to hear that, okay? So I usually, when I'm making a video, I don't pedal at all. I just throttle the entire time. And then as I'm heading towards home, I will usually start pedaling at that point, just so I can get some exercise of something before I actually end up at home. And of course, if I'm too tired, or if it's been a long time on the video or whatever, I may never pedal at all. I may just throttle that whole session. So it really depends on what I'm doing, okay? Now, you may not be like that. You might want to have the full exercise the entire time, in which case you probably do pedal, but you can make your pedaling a little bit easier on yourself if you deal with the pedal level assists, right? The PAS levels. Or if you want the extra effort, you don't put the pedal assist levels higher, you pedal more. This is where a lot of people like torque sensor, because the harder you pedal down, okay, more effort pedaling down, the faster you're gonna go. So that bike actually reacts based on how hard you pedal. On a cadence sensor bike, no matter how hard you pedal, it's all based on what the pedal assist level is set for, okay? So a lot of people like the torque sensor because they want the exercise. Now, if you're lazy, you probably want the cadence sensor. Or if you have a physical problem like I do, because I have a bad knee and hips and everything, torque sensors make it kind of hard for me to work. Okay, it's a little bit easier for me to use a cadence sensor along with pedal assist levels. So for people who, like me, who have some physical ailment of making it harder for me to pedal, cadence sensor actually works better for me. Now, I have noticed that there's a trend for more bikes to try to put in torque sensors, because that's the big buzzword now, right? Torque sensors isn't for everybody, all right? Not everybody likes it, not everybody needs it, okay? It depends on what you want to do. If you want the exercise, yeah, I think the torque sensor makes more sense, because you're gonna have to put some effort in, all right? Now, that's all talking about these rear hub motor type bikes. What about the mid-drive bikes, okay? Now, that's a whole different animal. Now, many of you guys have asked me to get a mid-drive bike, try it out, see what I think, tell you guys all about it. So I did. So I got the Himiway Rambler Premium. Yeah, I had to think of what they call it. That's the one with the mid-drive on it. Now, that bike is a whole different animal too, okay? Because it's a torque sensor on there and it's a mid-drive. So you have to shift. It's really designed for you to actually pedal. Now it does have a thumb throttle on there, so if you don't want to pedal, you could use the thumb throttle. But really, a mid-drive is designed for somebody who likes to pedal, and you got to shift, okay? And you got to shift properly, all right? So after everyone found out that, oh man, I got to shift, and I have to do it a certain way so that I don't strip out the gears and everything. A lot of you guys said after watching the review, you said absolutely no way am I buying a mid-drive bike. Okay, and others looked at it and said, good, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I think the mid-drive is more for someone who really wants to ride that bike like a bike, okay, with some help, okay? And the mid-drives in typical fashion will have better torque, so you can get up and down hills a little bit easier. So if you got a lot of hills, you probably want the mid-drive, and you probably want to learn how to shift, because you're going to be doing a lot of shifting, okay? Now, if you're like me, where something like a mid-drive bike while doing my videos would be harder for me because I got to pedal. I mean, I don't have to. I can throttle the whole thing, but I mean that's no benefit of having the mid-drive. Then you're throttling all the way through, right? If you're kind of like me, then maybe a hub drive motor makes more sense. It's a whole thing, okay? So put in the comments. Let me know. Do you want to be able to pedal, and how do you want to pedal it? Okay. Do you use your gears? Do you not use your gears? Do you want a mid-drive bike? Do you want a hub drive motor? It's a lot of different stuff. Now, we've also seen now too, some of the bikes coming out have dual motors. Yeah, they have a motor in the front and they have a motor in the back. So they have a motor for each individual wheel. What is that benefit for that? I think for those people who like going up and down, up and down hills, up and down, bumpy roads that, it goes up a little bit and, you can't even climb it with a regular bike, you might want the dual motor, okay? So what's the benefit of that? Well, somebody goes off-roading and they have some terrain that requires them to climb a lot or not. I think that double motor would come in handy. Now, why don't they put it on every single bike? Well, it eats up more power. You got to run power to the front motor and to the rear motor. Hold on. So why wouldn't we want to do that all the time? Well, if you eat up all your power, you can't go as far. You need a bigger battery or carry a second battery if you want to go farther. So a lot of this stuff really depends on what you're planning on doing. If you're planning on riding just the streets, do you need a dual motor system? I would say no. If it's mostly level streets, why would you need it? You're just eating up battery, right? Why would you need to do that? So in that case, I would say no, dual motor, probably not so beneficial. For a guy like me, where I ride, probably wouldn't make that much difference. Probably eat up more battery power than I prefer. For a guy who goes and he says, well, you know, my terrain kind of goes up and down, or I kind of go off road a lot of times, and you know, some of those trails kind of have, you know, big inclines, deep inclines, and all that stuff. Got to pull myself out of a ditch type of thing. Yeah, then the dual motor might actually be worthwhile. So hopefully all of this information I'm throwing at you, some of it will stick, some of it will make sense. Put a comment below about how you typically ride and what kind of bike you need. Put a comment about the gears. Do you use it? Do you not use it? Do you pedal? Do you throttle? How do you ride? And what kind of things do you need in order to get that ride to work properly for you? Okay, some things to think about. All right, that's all I have for you for today. I just wanted to let you guys know that this is something that I think everyone needs to think about in order for them to think about which type of bikes they want. Okay. Finally, one last thing. I want to remind you too, Magicycle has their Black Friday sale going on throughout the month. If you're looking for a deal on a Magicycle bike, this is the month to do it, all right? If you're looking for a deal for a brand new bike, okay? Use the affiliate link in my description below. Get into there and then look around. If you decide you want to buy a new Magicycle bike, this is the month to do it, all right? Because you're going to save a lot of money on their Black Friday sale. Just wanted to let you know that, kind of remind you, since Thanksgiving will be coming up soon. Typical Black Friday is usually, the Friday after Thanksgiving. So we're in the week of Thanksgiving right now. I figure I'd throw that in there and let you remember that there are some sales going on, and they have some really good deals right now on their bikes if you wanted to take a look at it. Anyways, I will talk to you guys next time. Have a happy Thanksgiving, by the way, too.